Yeah, I met Jim Bishop first when he stumbled into my office, and I had no idea who he was. He introduced himself and told me to go out to Kuwait and visit him. And I was like, Kuwait, that'd be an interesting place to study fishes. There's not a lot of fishes out there. So I went, and there was lots of fishes, and he was collecting them for me in advance. And so we got there, and there was hundreds of specimens waiting for us from the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Gulf, as they call it over there. And so we were really lucky to meet Jim Bishop.
But I've always been interested in marine biology. I think anybody with any kind of curiosity can't help but be drawn to coral reefs and fisheries. In my case, I like to fish as a kid. So the marine environment was a natural fit for me. My research broadly concerns coastal renewable resources. And by renewable, we mean things that generally living things that can replenish themselves. I mean, Kuwait is almost all oil-based economy, and fisheries is one of the few renewable resources that the country has. So I worked for the Kuwait Institute of Scientific Research, and there we focused on managing the resource, the fisheries. For the shrimp, before the Iraqi invasion, we were told that we had the best managed shrimp resource in the world.
Jim Bishop's a great researcher because he is the epitome of what basic science research is all about. So you might not understand why at first, somebody would care to study, the insects of the the Persian Gulf. You might not understand why somebody would want to study, this whale that happened to come into the Persian Gulf for the first time. So his contributions might seem small at first, but there's so many of these little contributions that add to our understanding of basic science research, from that region especially.
I know him more as legend than anything else. I mean, which he certainly is around the Hill Memorial Library. Certainly one of the more rare books that we have, period, and just simply an almost unique book would be the book that he donated just recently, just in the last year. It was Louis Renard's Poissons, fish, crabs, and crayfish from 1719. There were originally only 100 copies printed, and now there's only 11 extant, with only 2 in the United States. So it is a very rare book, and we certainly treat it as such. But it's hard to overstate just how kind of magnificent Renard's Poissons is, because it is so rare.
I think Jim Bishop is very much deserving of this honor, being part of the Hall of Distinction for the College of Science. He, as an alum, has done just a tremendous amount in a part of the world that we don't hear much about except for bad things. And he's showing the good things, and the good things that are still out there in the Arabian Gulf and in the Middle East that many of us don't know about. And these specimens that we have that just will contribute forever our understanding about that region. He is so deserving of this honor, and I'm so glad that he's getting it.
Being inducted into the Hall of Distinction came as a complete surprise. I had no idea that this was being done. And it's one of the few honors that it's probably the only honor I've ever had in my life that I did not do all the groundwork myself.